Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 21 of the 2018 Colorado Rockies Super Advanced Stratomatic Replay. In today's game, the Rockies host the Chicago Cubs. And today's pitching matchup for the Cubs is Kyle Hendricks, and for the Rockies is Jon Gray. Alright, and Gray's finished his warm-up tosses, and leading off for the Cubs will be Albert Almora Jr. playing center field. That's a fly ball to right field. Going back on it is Parra. It goes over his head. Goes over his head, goes to the wall, and Almora cruises into second with a double, and that's how the Cubs lead off the game. Albert Almora Jr. with a double, and that brings up the second baseman, Javier Baez. Swing and a drive! Deep center field. All Blackman can do is sit there and watch it go. Home run, Javier Baez, and the Cubs lead 2-0. So Javier Baez, and the Cubs are not getting fooled early. And here is the third baseman, Chris Bryant. That's a base hit right up the middle. So single or double home run single, and Jon Gray is not having it so far. And here is Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman. That's a swing and a miss, strike three. So finally, the Bronx cheer comes up from the crowd, and there is one out here in the top half of the first, and the Cubs leading 2-0. And that's a base hit. Pretty sure that's... Yep. Sorry, I had to look up my... Should have wrote them down beforehand, but I was pretty sure that was a single. That's a single. So Wilson Contreras, the catcher, base hit... past the shortstop, I should say. And once again, Jon Gray has faced 5 batters and only gotten 1 out. And here's the left fielder, Kyle Schwarber. And that's a base hit to right field, I should say. So everybody moves up 1 base as it just gets past the glove. And here is the shortstop, Addison Russell. Swing and a drive. Actually, no, it's the swing and a drive. It's drops in, base hit. Had Russell had more muscle, it probably would have done more damage. However, drops in for a single. In to score is Bryant. Rounding third and heading home is Contreras. Moving to third is Schwarber. And it's 4-0 Cubs. And the Rockies will get the bullpen loosening. Antonio Senzatella, their long man, is loosening in the pen. And here's Jason Hayward, the right fielder. And that's to the right fielder, Parra. Parra. That drops in for a base hit. In to score is Schwarber. Rounding second, ending the third is Russell. And they'll let him face Hendricks, the pitcher, as he is, at this point, doesn't have it and will be considered weak. Strikes out Hendricks for the second out of the inning. And back to the top of the order. The 10th man to bat in the inning is Albert O'Mora Jr. And that's a fly ball to center field, caught by Blackman, and mercifully the first inning is over. However, not before the Cubs score 5, and we go to the bottom half of the first inning with the Cubs leading 5-0. However, this game is not over. The bandbox that is Coors Field can give up leads just as quickly, and here's Kyle Hendricks. Face the second baseman, DJ LeMahieu. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. A 2-2 fastball for 1 out. Here's a catcher, Chris Iannetta. That's a ground ball to Addison Russell. Over to Rizzo for 2 outs. And that's 2 outs in the bottom half of the first with the Cubs leading 5-0. And that is a high fastball, and Blackman lays off, and that's ball 4. And Blackman will not be held on, but he will not go anywhere because up comes Nolan Arenado. And that's a line drive base hit past the second baseman, or it's past the shortstop, Russell. And stopping at second is Blackman. And the Rockies have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And here's Gerardo Parra. That's a ground ball right to the second baseman. That's Baez over to Bryant. And that retires the side. So after 1 complete, it is the Cubs 5 and the Rockies nothing. And we'll let Gray go on, but all his the ones that have dots on them, like the 4-5, will now be base hits, so he probably will not have many strikeouts. All right, here's Javier Baez. Just like that. Since he is now considered tired, that is a base hit to right field. And they're thinking close. If they put a runner in scoring position, that's going to be it for Jon Gray. Here's Chris Bryant. That's a swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. Strike 3. And here is Anthony Rizzo. Are they holding on Baez? They are holding on Baez. That's a play out in front of the plate. That's for Jon Gray. Ooh. And he is... Oh, he'll get to it. Wheels to second for 1 on to first double play. So Gray making up for a first inning. That was really bad and gets the Cubs retires the Cubs 3 batters, and we go down to the bottom half of the second. The Cubs still lead 5-0. And here is Trevor Story, the shortstop. And that's a line drive that'll get down. Almora cuts it off, and that'll hold Story to a single. And here is Ian Desmond, the left fielder. And that ball is in the dirt. However, Contreras handles it. And the count will now be 2-2. And that's in the dirt on a 3-2 pitch. And Desmond draws a walk. And so the Rockies have 2 on here in the bottom half of the second. And here's the first baseman, Ryan McMahon. That's a fly ball center field. That's deep. However, Almora runs it down for the first out in the inning. And here is Jon Gray, and they will bring the corners in. He will be a B bunter, so he'll show bunt. And let's see. No, they will not try to get Story. Yeah, not with Contreras. No, they will throw to first to get the sure out. So that will be the catcher picks it up, throws it to first, get the sure out. So the Rockies have runners on second and third with 2 outs, trailing 5-0. And here is DJ LeMahieu. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. Going back on it is Schwarber, and it's gone. Home run DJ LeMahieu. And the Rockies have cut this deficit to 5-3. Or as Al Red Sox fan says, boom goes the baseball. And here is Chris Iannetta, the catcher. And that's a ground ball to the first baseman. Ranging over is Rizzo, takes it to the bag himself, and that retires the side. However, the Rockies put up 3 on the 3-run homer by LeMahieu. We go to the top of the third with the score, the Cubs 5 and the Rockies 3. And here is Wilson Contreras, the catcher. He singled and scored his last time up. That's a ground ball to Story. Over to McMahon, that's 1 away. And here is Kyle Schwarber. And that's a line drive past the second baseman, LeMahieu, and that's a base hit. The ballpark singles are 1-19, and the ballpark home runs are 1-15, and that's a 15. So just to let Joel know. And here is, and they will not hold Schwarber on. Nope. And here is Addison Russell, the shortstop. And that's a ground ball to the second baseman, LeMahieu. Over to Story, onto McMahon, double play. So for 2 innings in a row, the Cubs have hit into a inning double play. And that's all for the Cubs in the top half of the third. We go to the bottom half. The Cubs lead 5-3. All right, here is Charlie Blackmon, the center fielder. Walked his first time up. That's a line drive base hit past the second baseman, Baez. And so the leadoff batter is on. And here's Nolan Arenado. No, you're not going to run with him on. Up. That's a ground ball to the third baseman. On to second for 1. On to first, not in time. And so that'll be fielder's choice. And Arenado takes Blackmon's place at first. And they will not hold him on. And here's Gerardo Parra, the right fielder. Grounded out to end the first inning his last time up. And that's a line drive base hit. Hitting second and going to third is Arenado. He'll make it. And the Rockies have runners on the corners with one out for Trevor Story. And the Rockies could take the lead with one swing of the bat. And that's a base hit past the third baseman. Into score is Arenado. On the second is Parra. He will stop right there. So Trevor Story makes this a 5-4 ball game. And here is Ian Desmond. And that's a base hit into center field. Rounding third and heading home is Parra. Running second and stopping at third is Story. And we have a tie ball game, 5-5. So like I said, Coors Field taketh have a lead, and the next minute it's gone. So with one out, Ryan McMahon is up. They will play back for the double play ball. That's a ground ball to Russell. They were not holding anybody on. Oh, he makes a nice diving stop. Throws to first. Oh, he pulls Rizzo off the base. And everybody's safe. Error on Russell. And it is now a 6-5 Rockies lead. And here's Jon Gray, and the Cubs will get Mike Montgomery loosening in the pen. And here is Jon Gray, and they will bring the corners in, and he will try to lay down another bunt. And lays it down. The first baseman has no other play but to go to first. And Jon Gray lays down another good sacrifice. That's 3-4 on the putout. And with two outs, the Rockies once again have runners on the corners. And here's DJ LeMahieu. He hit a 2-out home run his last time up. And the Cubs are not hoping for deja vu all over again. That ball is in the dirt. Oh, great stop by the catcher Contreras. And here is the 3-2 pitch to DJ LeMahieu. Line drive, base hit to left field. Into score is Desmond. On to third is McMahon. They weren't holding him on. And they will hold him right there. And that'll be all for... And that'll be all for Kyle Hendricks. Actually, no, it won't. They'll let him pitch because he's due up second. But he is now considered weak because he's given up 6 runs in 2 innings. Actually, he's given up 7 in 2 innings. And that's a line drive base hit. Into score is McMahon, and this is quickly getting out of hand. That's 5 in the inning for the Rockies, and it's an 8-5 lead. And we don't want to double. All right, Kyle Hendricks, you're going to have to get out of this inning. And here's Charlie Blackmon. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Hendricks gets out of the inning, but not before the Rockies send 10 men to the plate and score 5. And after 3 complete, it's the Rockies 8 and the Cubs 5. And now batting for the Cubs is Jason Hayward. Then we'll get a pinch hitter for Hendricks because he's coming out. And that will be Tommy LaStella will come in and pinch hit for Hendricks. So, all right, here's the top of the 4th for Jon Gray. He thought after the first inning that he'd still be in here, but he's done pretty well the last 2 innings. To the second baseman, LeMahieu. Ranges over, and that should be a good play, and it is. So that's 1 away after a ground ball to LeMahieu. And now batting for Kyle Hendricks, Tommy LaStella. And Mike Montgomery will come into the game for the Cubs to try to give some long relief. So here's LaStella. He will be entered into the... Okay. And that's high and outside, ball 4. So LaStella draws a 1-out walk. And back to the top of the order is Albert Almora Jr. And they will not hold LaStella. Oops, got a wild die here. Fly ball to left fielder Desmond. This will drop. Actually, not only will it drop, it'll get past Desmond and go to the wall. And stopping at third is LaStella. And the Cubs have runners on second and third with 1 out and trailing 8-5. And here is Javier Baez. And that ball is in the dirt and gets away. Scoring from third is LaStella. And on to third is Almora. And this is now an 8-6 ball game. And Baez will remain up at the plate. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 outs here in the top half of the 4th for Jon Gray. And here is Chris Bryant. And it's in the dirt again. Boy, Gray is not feeling it, but this time Iannetta digs it out. And that makes it a 3-1 count. And here's the pitch to Bryant. That's on a 3-2 pitch after a foul out. Bryant swings and misses, strike 3. So Gray gets through the 4th. He gives up a run. And the Cubs have now cut the deficit to 8-6. All right, and Mike Montgomery will be coming into the game. All right, and he will finish his warm-up tosses, and he will face Nolan Arenado to lead off. Try to give some length to this bullpen here. Not much right now. Line drive, base hit, and Arenado is on base for the 3rd time today. He's 2 for 3. And here is Gerardo Parra. They will not hold Arenado on. And that's a fly ball to right field. Going back a few steps on it is Hayward. He makes the catch for the 1st out. And here is Trevor Story. That's a fly ball to left field, and this time it's Kyle Schwarber who moves in a couple steps, makes the catch. And here is Ian Desmond with 2 outs and a runner on first, and the Rockies leading 8-6. That's a fly ball to Schwarber again, and he'll make the catch, and that retires the side. So leadoff single does no damage, and we go to the top half of the 5th with the Rockies leading 8-6, and this will probably be it for Jon Gray. Yep, he's due up second. So here's Rizzo. That's a ground ball to the shortstop. Story over to McMahon, and that's 1 away here in the top of the 5th. There's Wilson Contreras. And that's a ground ball to third. Arenado comes up with it, throws to first. 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th with the Cubs trailing 8-6. And here's Kyle Schwarber. And that's a line drive base hit past the second baseman, LeMahieu. And Kyle Schwarber is 3 for 3 with 3 singles today. And so here's Addison Russell. Fly ball, right field. Going back on it is Parra, makes the catch. And that retires the side. So the Cubs strand 1, and we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Rockies lead 8-6. And they will have McMahon. They will go with Pat Valaika to pinch hit for Jon Gray as he's got through his 5 innings somehow. We don't know how, but he did. And to the top of the order, DJ LeMahieu. So Montgomery in his 2nd inning of work, he'll be replaced in the bottom half when his position comes up to bat. They'll have Justin Wilson come into the game. Yep, they'll have him come in. Actually, they might have Luke Farrell. They'll have Luke Farrell and Justin Wilson loosening in the pen. So, all right, here is Montgomery to face. Montgomery to face Ryan McMahon. And that's a ground ball to third. Bryant gets it, throws to first, and that's the first out of the inning. And here is Pat Valaika, the pinch hit for Jon Gray. And the Rockies will get Antonio Senzatella. They will bring him into the game, and he will pitch the top half of the 6th. All right, so here's Valaika with 1 out and nobody on. And that's a fly ball to center field. Almora races back and makes the catch. And that brings up LeMahieu with 2 outs and nobody on. And we will get Senzatella in for Gray. All right, here is DJ LeMahieu. And that's high and outside, ball 4. So LeMahieu draws a walk. He is 2 for 3 on the day with a home run, a single, and a strikeout along with the walk. And here is Chris Iannetta. They will not hold on LeMahieu. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for Iannetta. And that retires the side. And the Rockies leave 1, and we go to the top half of the 6th. And the score, the Rockies 8 and the Cubs 6. And Antonio Senzatella will now come into the game. Victor Caratini will now... actually, will they have... They might have Montgomery. They might have to have Montgomery hit. No, they won't have Montgomery hit, but no, they'll let a pinch hitter. Okay, so here's Hayward against Senzatella. Sorry, won't enter. The delay was to let Senzatella get some warm-up pitches. Okay. Okay, and here is Hayward. Fly ball to center field. Blackman goes back on it. Looks to be under it. Can he make the catch? Yes, he will. So long fly ball to center field, but Blackman runs it down, and that's one out here in the sixth inning. And here is no, not Caratini. We want Ian Happ. So Happ will hit for Montgomery. Okay, and here's Ian Happ to face Senzatella, and they will have Justin Wilson coming into the game to pitch. All right, that's a fly ball to center field. A little easier play for Blackman this time, and he makes the catch, and there's two outs here in the top of the sixth. And here is Albert Almora Jr. Base hit to center field, so right back up the middle, and Almora gets a two-out base, and the Cubs have a two-out base runner, and they will not hold Almora on. Here's Javier Baez. And that's a fly ball that goes to the gap, and it'll get to the base of the wall. Hitting second and going to third is Almora. We're not holding him on. And they will send him, and the Rockies will throw home. Here's the throw to the plate. And it's in time. In time. Blackman to Story to Iannetta. And that's a perfect relay. So Almora, they sent him. He was a 1-16. And we roll the 20. So, wow. 80% chance to score. And the Rockies said none shall pass. Wow. So Almora thrown out at the plate. And we go to the bottom of the sixth, with the Rockies still leading 8-6. And here is Charlie Blackman to face Justin Wilson. Okay. And Blackman swing and a miss, strike three against Justin Wilson. And that's one out here in the bottom of the sixth. And here is Nolan Arenado. And that's a line drive base hit up the middle. And they will not hold Arenado. He is 3 for 4 on the day. Can't keep him off the base pass. And here is Gerardo Parra. That's a fly ball. Actually, no, that's a ground ball to the second baseman. Baez over to Russell, on to Rizzo, double play. So Justin Wilson retires the Rockies here in the sixth, and we go to the top half of the seventh with the Rockies leading 8-6. And they may leave Wilson in for another inning. And here is Senzatella in his second inning of work. Here is Chris Bryant. And that's a line drive base hit to left field. Picking up and throwing it in is Schwarber. And the Rockies have a base runner. Oh, sorry, oops. Wrong side. And here's Anthony Rizzo. Sorry, that was Desmond that picked that up. Let's see, will the Havoc die? Nope. And base hit for Rizzo, the center. They weren't holding Bryant on. He will head to third, and they will let him go. And the Rockies are in a bit of trouble here with runners on first and third. They will play the infield back. They will give up. They will gladly take 2 outs for a run. And here is Wilson Contreras. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And here is Kyle Schwarber. 1 out and runners on the corners. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Senzatella bears down. And here is Addison Russell with runners on the corners and now 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And that's, let's see. And no, that's a high pop to the left side of the infield. Coming down with it is the first baseman, McMahon. And that retires the side. Oh, the poor 2-out hitting for Addison Russell cost the Cubs a run. So Senzatella has pitched 2 innings and he will be replaced. And we go to the bottom half of the 7th. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back for it. Root for the Rockies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes right up the old ball game. All right, here's Trevor Story. Wilson will come in for his second inning of work. And that's a base hit for Trevor Story. And they will have Carl Edwards Jr. loosening in the pen. And here is Ian Desmond. They will hold Story on. Whoops. That does not count. That counts. And that's a line drive base or ground ball base hit past the third baseman. And that will mark the end for Justin Wilson. And the Rockies will the Cubs will do a double switch using their last person. So Contreras will be taken out of the game. He's been 0 for 4. So let's see here. So Caratini will now come in and bat 9th. And then the pitcher spot will now be taken when Contreras bats. And that's Edwards pitching in the 7th. And so now the Okay, and now the Cubs are out of position players, so the pitcher will be batting for the rest of the game. But not much choice they had. All right, so Edwards will now take over for and the Rockies will have Mike Tauchman coming out in the on-deck circle. And here's Ryan McMahon with runners on first and second. That's a ground ball to the second baseman in the hole. His only play is to first, so it's just as good as a sacrifice. And that's one away here in the bottom of the seventh, and Mike Tauchman will now hit for the Rockies. So. And Tauchman swing and a miss, strike three. So and that's 2 outs here in the bottom of the seventh. And here is DJ LeMahieu. And swing and a miss, strike three. So that ends the bottom half of the seventh. So the Carl Edwards does a nice job of getting out of a jam. And we go to the top half of the eighth. And the Rockies need a new pitcher. And they will go with Brian Shaw. In the eighth inning here. And he will face Hayward, Contreras, or Caratini and Almora. And that's a fly ball to center field. Blackman comes in a couple steps and makes the catch. And here is Victor Caratini. And that's a swing and a miss, strike three. And Brian Shaw has retired the first two batters here in the top of the eighth. And here is Albert Almora Jr. And that's a line drive base hit. So the Rockies get the Cubs get a base runner here in the top of the eighth. And here is Javier Baez. Swing and a miss, strike three. Took a healthy cut at that one. And that retires a side here in the eighth. The Rockies will get Wade Davis loosening in the pen. And here's Carl Edwards coming out for his second inning of work. They will get Pedro Strop loosening if needed. And here is Chris Iannetta. And that's a swing and a miss, strike three. And here is Charlie Blackman. And that's ball four. He takes a walk. And here is Nolan Arenado. They will hold Blackman on for sure. Line drive pace hit past the shortstop. And they will waste no time. Here is Pedro Strop to come in. And here is Gerardo Parra with 1 out and runners on first and second. So here's Pedro Strop. Fly ball to right field. Going back on it is Hayward. He will make the catch. Blackman's going to go for third, and he'll stay at second. So here is Trevor Story, the shortstop. Ground ball right back to the mound. And Strop will throw to first, and that'll retire the side. And we go to the top of the ninth. Here comes Wade Davis. To try to close out this game. And here is Chris Bryant. We'll try to get this done rather quickly. That's a fly ball to center field. Blackman cannot get it. And he doesn't bobble it, so it's only a